who's ever been called weird for being fascinated by true crime?
Guilty, because we have too.
So welcome, you have found your people.
Consider this your safe space where we deep dive together into the world's most shocking killers and crimes, so you don't have to.
All you've got to do is listen.
Don't blame the mum. New episodes every Monday.
Find us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Coming up on the Final FronTia. Can we talk a little bit about Drag Race?
It changed my life. I never want to do it again.
Get a little Attitude magazine headline now.
Crystal quits drag.
Joking, allegedly.
Keir Starmer's the kind of man who apologizes when he comes.
No, I've got a horrible vision in my head of Keir Starmer now calling one or both of us daddy. I don't want it. I don't want it. Colin, hello.
Hi.
Hi, that was bizarre. I wanted to call you your non-drag name.
Well, you did it.
Yeah, I did.
So
successfully.
Now what?
I just wanted to point out that I'm very specifically dressed in Canadian formal wear for you.
You are.
To
it's
honor
the
you.
Canadian tuxedo. In fact, you've taken it a step further because I think the Canadian tuxedo is double denim. And you've gone triple denim.
Is it,
so
which, is it just meant to be like jacket and trousers?
I think so. Unless like I've been here so long that I don't even remember my own culture anymore.
You've forgotten your heritage.
Yeah, you've gone like Canadian, I don't know, what's more formal? Black tie.
Yeah, this is Canadian black tie. All in your honor, because...
and I've dressed like a slut in your honor, so...
Thank you. That's my culture.
Yeah.
Appropriate. Big fan.
Oh, likewise.
Obsessed with you and everything that you're doing.
Oh.
Apart from like the gym stuff, which is not for me. But,
okay, sure. Well, I'm just trying to like provide a balance of content.
Yeah, of course. It is. It's lovely to have you here in my shower curtained home.
I feel like is this our second podcast together? Third podcast? Who knows?
Yeah, we've done stuff.
Yeah,
we have lots of conversations about things also privately. Not everything needs to be for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Greedy.
But I feel like people have really, post Drag Race gotten to know you for your political voice.
Oh.
And I think that is important.
Thanks.
How do you feel about being a Canadian drag queen who is now a British political commentator?
I mean, anything for attention.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. It wasn't necessarily what I set out to do, but I think I've always been politically minded. I grew up, like, my parents raised me going to protests and stuff. I was raised by hippies. So that's always been, like, part of my thing. It wasn't until my lawsuit trial against Lawrence Fox that I realized that maybe other people might want to hear what I thought about it a bit more as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of gave me the permission, I guess, to take up space there. I don't know. As soon as like I start to do one thing and I get bored and move on. So like I'm very bad at maintaining some kind of consistent brand identity. I don't know if you ever feel that way, but it's like, 1 month I want to do loads of political videos and the next month I just want to post loads of thirst traps. I'm like, is this counterproductive? I feel like I should probably be sticking to one lane, but I can't.
I think you can do both.
Right.
Why not? It's 2026. Live your truth.
Okay. Well, I'm trying. But yeah, it's good. I mean, I love thinking about politics and I love the stress and challenge of like having to go on air and talk about it. It feels like it keeps me really like on my toes and like aware of what's going on. And it's really, really fucking scary because
I can imagine
fighting with someone super right wing about like the hot button issues of the day makes me feel like I'm going to explode. It's so stressful, but it's also kind of fun.
How do you keep like possession of the sort of like facts and information in that moment? Because I lose like info out of my head very easily.
I typically write down like the 3 things I want to talk about and try and just go back to those, whatever comes up.
Okay.
And so I'll like have those, if I'm doing it on Zoom, I'll have like a note open and be like, whatever, just kind of ignore what they say and then just try and go back to one of those points. I did like some media training a couple of years ago about like how to...
Wait, that's real?
Mm-hmm.
There's real media training.
Yeah. It's this spokesperson network that basically train up left-wing voices to go into the media and like be more effective communicators. Wow. Yeah. It's really cool. But they make you think about, they're like, you need to picture not trying to convince the person you're arguing with in front of you, but trying to convince the person who's listening at home. And you're trying to convince basically Marge Simpson. That's the person you're supposed to have in mind. Mm-hmm. So she's like a busy, maybe housewife or maybe, you know, whoever, but she's busy. She's kind of only half paying attention and she's well-intentioned, but she's not necessarily super well-informed. So you need to like get to her. And so you kind of think whenever you're like talking about an issue, like, how can I make this relevant to Marge Simpson? Yeah.
That's really interesting because I've always had this thing in my head, was actually started because of a particular drag queen that I will tell you about afterwards. But I feel like it's really ineffective and everyone's got into this habit because of Jubilee or whatever, those like internet people who do... No, the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or like those like sort of like TikTok channels where they do debates and whatever, where like people think they need to communicate like they're writing a dissertation, like everything is an essay. I'm like, no one knows what you're talking about if you're talking like that. Also, everyone's got into this habit of thinking that like debate and discussion is about catching the other person out. And the two things that I never want to hear again in my life are as a blah blah or define blah. I'm so sick of it. Like, and it's always basic things where they're like, define debate.
Right.
Like, I'm like, what do you mean define debate? We know what we're talking about. Why do we need to like force people to like enter into definitions of like basic things? You can infer from what someone's talking about what they mean. You don't need to be that sort of like direct just to catch someone out so you can feel
like
superior.
Gotcha debating. It's like, who's winning here?
No
one. Yeah. Like, let's actually try and talk in good faith about real topics. Wouldn't that be novel?
Yeah, talking good faith is exactly what it is. And like it's like been present in politics the entire time. Like you've seen how they talk to each other in Parliament and it just sounds like they're all at an all-boys boarding school.
Oh my God, it's
making
so
noises.
embarrassing.
It's gross, right?
Yeah. It's so weird that that's like the norm in this country. I always feel like culturally, like I'm like, oh, I'm really not British whenever I see that because I'm just like, oh, I don't get it. I hate it. It makes me feel ick.
But it does filter down even to like a local scale where people are like trying to be sassy about things. And I'm like, what is this, a reading challenge on Drag Race? Like what's happening right now? Just talk about like when the bins are getting collected. Like that's all anyone cares about.
Truly. I mean, exactly. We don't need like the bluster of Parliament in local council.
No.
Unless you're Jackie Weaver or whatever that icon's.
That was iconic.
Yeah.
I really want... Olivia, can you look up the context of like the Jackie Weaver thing? Because I don't even know if that was like local politics. I think that might have even just been like a neighborhood association or something.
I think, no, it must have been a council. You have no authority here. Anyway, incredible.
Yeah, I really want to know what that was about now. On the microphone, Olivia, tell the people.
Handforth Parish Council gained prominence after an online meeting in 2020 over the legitimacy of the clerk, Jackie Weaver.
Can we be assured that we won't be thrown out of the meeting like we were last time?
If you disrupt this meeting, I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
She's kicked him out. Don't.
They now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
Thank you.
Jackie's the one who like was kicking people out of the meeting, right?
Yeah. She must have been like external to Handforth Parish Council if she was told she has no authority. That's wild.
Wait.
This is occupying a surprising amount of time.
She is recorded as clerk to the meeting in the official minutes. This is the Zoom meeting that happened in 2021, but is not the official clerk of Handforth Parish Council. For this reason, Council Chairman Brian Tolver refused to accept the legitimacy of the meeting, called by two other councillors as no proper officer was present.
Love
and everyone, like different people were putting different virtual waiting rooms. It just became a whole thing.
Okay.
It doesn't sound fun, but it was.
It was fun to watch, but it doesn't sound like it should have or needed to happen.
Sounds like that you shouldn't watch that and think that was entertaining, but Oh, it was.
It quite was.
Yeah.
Starting a new business can be really intimidating. When I first started the Final FronTia, I couldn't have predicted how much work goes into running an online business. Schedules, assets, logos, selling tickets, all of it. It can feel super overwhelming at times, and every day seems like a new list of decisions that need to be made. And even when you're up and running, constantly growing your brand takes a lot of work. And your to-do list can easily begin to overtake your life if you don't have the right tools that help you simplify everything and keep you on track. For millions of businesses, the tool that we all wished we had discovered sooner is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world. 10% of all online sales in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started, they all use Shopify. When you use Shopify, starting an online brand becomes easy. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand's style. It is also packed with helpful tools that help you accelerate your content creation, from helping you with descriptions, web page headlines, and even enhancing your photography for products you want to sell. Shopify can also be your marketing team. Easily create emails and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert for all things product, with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell and build your business, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your £1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.co.uk. Go to shopify.co.uk. That's shopify.co.uk. Can we talk a little bit about Drag Race?
Yes.
Because I feel like you've had a good amount of time away
from
your season where you've like changed
it's been
and
84
developed.
years.
It really has been a whole minute. When you reflect back on that time, like what sort of comes to mind and how do you feel about it?
I think more and more it feels like a different person did that. And I'm like, that could not have been me. Sometimes, like if I watch an episode of Drag Race and I'm like, God, imagine doing that. That looks hard. I'm like, oh, no. I also did that. It feels kind of out of body. Like it doesn't even feel like me. I think that's my main feeling. I mean, I'm so thankful to have done it. What a cool thing to do. It changed my life. I never want to do it again.
You wouldn't go back?
I don't think so. A couple of years ago, maybe. Like, and I was still like trying to figure out, what I wanted to do next. And I don't know. But currently, I just can't think of really anything worse than like putting myself through that judgmental process again.
Yeah.
And like having done a fair bit of TV since, like doing TV is really fun. But it's fun when like everyone's trying to build towards a common goal.
Yeah.
And as soon as things get like combative, it fucks my head up. Like, I don't know if this was, in fact, I do know it was like this on your season, but I expected there to be like a kind of sisterhood amongst the contestants as well. But like, I very quickly realized, oh no, we're all like going to be nice to each other's face, but like we're trying, everyone's against each other as much as against production. And I don't know, it doesn't create good vibes.
No, it really doesn't. And I found like filming the season, like people wouldn't admit
exactly
that out loud.
Exactly. It fucks your head up.
It does. I had one incident. I can't even remember exactly what it was. Production had asked us to do something. And we were in, those like little holding rooms that they would put you in. And I just sort of said to everyone, if we all agree not to do it, we don't have to do it. And there was a pause. And I can't remember who it was, but one of the people you expect to be more rebellious sort of went, but they've asked us, so we have to. And I was like, how am I the one who's like... being like really punk and out of all of these, like I'm a goody two shoes,
right?
And I'm the one who's saying if we agree, we don't have to. Wild.
Well, this is the other thing I think problem I had with being on Drag Race and / thinking about ever doing it again is that like I was already kind of too old at that point to be told what to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think there's something about if you're in your early 20s and you go on a TV show, you're like, oh yes, sorry, I'll do whatever you say. Like, thank you for this opportunity. Whereas I was like, I mean, I'm always a bit like this, but like, I think we shouldn't be doing it this way. I'm the squeaky wheel, and I think that's quite annoying for production, but it's also annoying to be that person when you're like, I don't want to be treated like this. I would prefer to be treated with kindness and respect and to get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, there's that part. I think there's a way, like going back and being a bit older and wiser, you can almost split the difference.
Right.
Because I think they know that you
treat
know.
you a bit differently. Right. Yeah. And I'm sure that's true.
Slightly.
Well, like you hear the stories about like the very first couple of All-Stars and they were just like running wild.
Yeah.
I doubt it's like that anymore. But do they still like tape you into your room?
Oh, yeah. There's all of that.
See, I can't with that.
No, it's wild. There was one time where they like had no budget, so me and Hanaconda like had to split a McDonald's meal between the two of us because there wasn't enough food. Like one of us had like the chips and the other one had like the fish fingers. Like it was a bad time.
See, I would flip out. Like, if you don't feed me, it's going to get really ugly.
I just couldn't be bothered and I really wanted to win. So I was like, I'm just not kicking off about this.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not worth it.
And like, I'm not in that space.
But
I'd rather eat than win.
I wonder if it's because you've also been on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Like as a sort of like mentor and judge on a drag show.
Yeah, it's so much
Canada.
more fun. Yeah, that is so much more fun. Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm actually here to like create a TV show and no one's like laser focused on all of my flaws. In fact, they're trying to make me look good. And that's like so refreshing. Yeah, and I've done, I did 2 seasons of Call Me Mother and then I did a season of So Fierce, doing another season of that this summer. And it's just like fun to make TV shows like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still contestants involved and I feel bad for them because I'm like, I know this is not as fun for you, but for me, it's great.
But I wonder if like having that knowledge makes you a little bit more sympathetic to them and a bit kinder.
Hopefully. As I say, it does feel like a different person did that show. So I'm not sure like my empathy is dialed up as much as it should be. But no, I'm sure it does. And like, yeah, when you see someone really struggling, at least you can give them advice that's like based on your own experience. Like, you need to remember this is a TV show we're making and like it'll be funner if you try and have fun and not take it too seriously and not get stressed over production. Like those are all the things that I kind of wish someone had been saying to me constantly.
Yeah, but I do think that's impossible in the moment.
Oh my
like,
God,
especially when you're
sleep deprived, hungry,
and in a really competitive mindset. Because I think I've done it 2 ways now. Where I'm like absolutely gunning to win and also just happy to be there.
Right.
And to be honest, it was easier doing it in the happy to be there mind. Was it? Because no. I think it would have been easier to do it in the happy to be there mindset with a less competitive group of people.
Right.
Because season 2 was like, I think some of the contestants on that season would have caused physical bodily harm in order to get to the end of that series. Joking, allegedly. Was I joking? Yes, kind of. So like that was ultra competitive and not like the most fun environment. I think you maybe had like a less competitive group of people.
Yeah, but I was so naive about like what reality TV was, what Drag Race was. Like in a lot of ways, our season was like a testing ground. And like, I feel kind of jealous of people who came after us a bit because they got to speak to someone and like have a chat before going in and be like, just, it's going to be like this. But I had no idea what it was going to be like. And I was very naive thinking like, it's a drag competition show and that's all that matters. And like how you do on the runway and how you do in the challenge, that is like what you're being judged on. And obviously you're being judged on also like being a great personality for reality TV, like all of the workroom stuff. But like they would keep coming around me with cameras like while I was getting ready for something and I'd be like, fuck off, I'm busy. I'm trying to get ready for the challenge.
Yeah.
And like I really needed someone to be like, no, just remember like that actually we're making a TV show first and the competition is kind of second.
It is funny because I think like you have to be good enough at the challenges and all of that kind of thing.
Of course.
But the main thing is like if RuPaul thinks you're hilarious or not.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's like, nobody told me that.
No.
And I look, like, I mean, I can't even watch my season. It makes me cringe too much. But like, I look at that and I think, you were so fucking clueless about what you were there to do.
Maybe, but I think maybe you underestimate how influential having your style of drag on that first season was. Because like, I think now we look at later seasons, like the bag of chips of it all has not perpetuated as much as I would have liked it to. But like, I don't think we get like a Bimini without a crystal. I think you had to be present on that first season in order for the sort of more alternative drag to be present on Drag Race UK.
Well, I don't know if I'll take that, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Well, it's been given, so whether you take it or not, it's there.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm proud of a lot of the things that I did. It's just, I also kind of think like, when I think about going back, I'm like, I don't think I could do any better than I did.
Really?
Like, yeah, I don't think that, like, I still can't dance or sing or really like I've gotten better at a lot of things, but then, you know, if you went back on, so has everyone else. So I think that I would still be somewhere.
I see what you mean though, because you were like competent on your first season, whereas like my thing was, that goofy kid trying to give it all a go.
Fresh.
So I literally had, even though I was straight up 30 years old, like my narrative was like I was like 19 and just a young ingenue giving it a go. But I literally had like everything to improve. Like I didn't need to change my personality or whatever, but like my clothes were bad. Therefore I turn up with like decent clothes and I've already propelled further than before.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I was saying this to you before we started recording, but like I think I'm just kind of a little bit out of love with drag.
Right.
When my season happened, I was obsessed with drag. And it felt very cutting edge. It felt like this dangerous, rebellious thing to be doing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel like that to me as much anymore. And I think I'm that kind of snob that like as soon as something stops being like a bit edgy, I'm a little bit less interested in it. And like, and so then it'd be like, well, if I was going to go back on Drag Race, like what's my goal with it? Because like, to be honest with you, I don't really want to be doing drag as much anymore.
Why do you think that is? Like,
I think I've just been kind of quiet quitting. And I don't know, can you quiet quit on a podcast? Probably not.
That might just be like a full announcement.
Yeah, that might be a full announcement.
Do you think we'll get a little Attitude magazine headline now?
Crystal quits drag. I mean, I barely do it. I do it when it's well paid. I just think that I have lost the enthusiasm of investing in it, like mentally.
And like, probably financially, because drag is expensive.
It's expensive, exactly. And so you've got to be constantly coming up with like new looks if you're performing new numbers. And like I kind of haven't been doing any of that for a couple of years. I'm just like rinsing and repeating, which then makes you like resent it more because instead of it being fresh and exciting, you're just doing something you've done 100 times and it's safe. I don't know. And then you get into that position where you're like painting your face to get ready for a gig and you just feel upset to be doing it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, this is not great. Like I shouldn't be painting myself like a clown feeling sad on the inside. Like I think there's something wrong with this picture.
Yeah. I totally know what you mean. And I think sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to try a different eye today.
Yeah.
To try and like
that
keep
used
myself
to be
going.
enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough anymore.
So, okay.
I'm not saying like I'm quitting drag, and I do still enjoy it sometimes. Like I still really enjoy DJing in drag. I'm doing this TV show in the summer, which I know will be really, really fun. And like I'm excited to come up with looks for that. And like that will be a great experience. But like going to like a bank or a WeWork and doing a drag bingo.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure this is bringing me joy anymore.
It does sound like it's sort of context maybe for you.
For sure. But it's like when you get to a level with drag, like the level that we were fortunate enough to get to, you start getting paid well. And so then like if you want to keep getting paid well, you have to do kind of soulless gigs with it. And it doesn't feel like the reason I got into drag. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm just trying to invest more of my mental energy in like the things that actually do bring me joy. And those are things that are kind of connected to drag, but aren't necessarily requiring me to do drag to do, like doing a podcast, DJing, making music, things like that.
That's exciting. And I think you are right, sort of like I feel like I'm going to sound like a hippie, realigning how you focus your energy is like very important. And I feel like people underestimate the power of being like very intentional with what you want to do and what you want to achieve.
Sure. I don't know. Maybe it's just as simple as like drag doesn't feel cool anymore. I don't know. Do you feel that to a degree?
I have never in my life been cool. So I don't think drag was ever like...
But it was cool.
Yeah, maybe it was. I was like cabaret scene.
Right.
So like to me, it was like...
That was never cool.
Never cool to you. Cool to me. It's really interesting what you're saying because now I'm like reflecting on the fact that like I have for probably 10 years opened every set that I've done with Power by Little Mix.
Right.
Like everything you're saying about like learning new numbers, like all of this kind of thing. I'm like, have I actually lost that energy of like putting that passion into it? Because people do drag for different reasons. And I think the Drag Race fandom can't compute that. Like they have no understanding of like what it is for some people, and they've lost the understanding of like different forms of performance. So at the moment, it's like unless you're wearing plucked hairline, human hair unit with like that particular eye shape that does that, with like slightly too much bronzer and all of that kind of stuff, like they can't process it or compute it. And that's really difficult because I find myself being like, well, I'm never going to fit into the mold of what is now expected of me within that bracket. And it's also hard to separate yourself, I guess, from the...
Serotonin?
Yeah, from the serotonin boost of having like lots and lots of likes on a photo and lots of engagement in that respect. So like I fully am on board with what you're saying about like focusing on what it is you actually want to achieve. But then it almost feels like losing that Drag Race audience that want everyone to be a gorgeous, gorgeous, skinny, like perfect person is hard.
Oh, for sure. And like accepting that like that the audience that you've cultivated isn't necessarily going to come on the journey with you. And you kind of become a prisoner to your own like previous success where you're like, well, do I keep pursuing this thing that people know me for, or do I but isn't making me super happy, or do I try and pivot and risk losing that attention, income, all of it? But that said, like not only do I think drag is kind of less cool than it was because it did get so commercialized, capitalized, and like so mainstream. I also think it's kind of in its flop era, and it's like it's kind of tragic to be pursuing something when you can see like the interest dwindle and you're trying to like wring out the last drops of like that industry. And I think like to do that, you have to still really like it, really be passionate about it. And then like, yeah, great, continue, because you will still find a path through there. But like, unless that is you, actually it might end up getting a bit tragic for you.
I think you're right. And I think part of the flopness of this moment is the like homogeny in drag that everyone's so focused on like same but different. That sort of also has made me quite on occasion uncomfortable with like myself out of drag, because there are certain things that I don't want to do just for myself, in myself. Also, I have a fear of needles. Read between the lines, everyone. But like there are certain things that I don't want to do to achieve a particular look or aesthetic.
I was like, heroin?
Not heroin.
Heroin I'll do.
Yeah, happily. No, kidding. Absolutely not. Really scared of needles. But like there are certain like aesthetic things, and I'm like, I'm sort of not willing to like risk like unhealthy eating habits, which I have had in the past, and I don't want to get like certain amounts of filler to have like a particular like chin and cheekbone combination that is like trendy at this moment in time. And no shade to anyone who wants to do that. Your body is your own. I have no say over it, and neither do I want to. But I do have a say over my own body, and I don't want to do that for myself.
I don't know. I think I'm willing to say, like, do not surgically alter yourself for your job.
Yeah.
I think that's an okay so line to have. Like, do it for you. And, like, I guess that is kind of the weird thing about drag, is that it does blur the lines between career and, like, the personal.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's a costume you're putting on, which is what it's always been for me, like, why would I want that to follow me into my personal life?
Yeah. I think that might actually be an age group thing, because I feel like a lot of people who maybe fall like a few years younger than us, drag has almost become this like all-consuming thing.
Right, yeah.
I think there were times maybe when we were coming up where it was like fun to like do a gig and go to, I don't know, Bombshell or whatever in drag. Or like, I think once ever I've got into drag to go out with friends just for a fun time.
Yeah, like I can count on one hand.
Yeah. Just because it was like fun to like play with makeup and like come up with outfits together and like do that. Now I feel like it's almost like assumed. Like people have roles and responsibilities where they're like out like checking people in at reception when they're going to an event in full drag. I'm like, there's no need.
Right.
There's no need. Why are we doing it? You could do this job without having spent 3 hours getting ready.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me.
But I guess it's hopefully that means that person's really loving it.
I hope so.
Yeah. And like, if you're loving it, great. Do drag. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not trying to shit on drag because
I am. No.
Just to make that really clear. I'm just talking about my own personal experience with it. And like, it's okay to, I think, fall in and out of love with things over time. It's something that I will always do. I know it. Like, I know that will always be there. But maybe it's like, as I was saying, just like something I'm trying to put less focus and energy into.
I will say the opposite. I will not do drag forever.
Oh, really?
I can't do it forever. So there's just something about it that like, maybe it is partly the drag race process. I keep looking at the camera like we're in the office and I'm breaking the fourth wall. But like, I think it is actually for me something that has a little bit too much trauma attached to from the show. So I'm like calculating how to put it to bed eventually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't have the show-related trauma for me, but it does have like, there's pressure involved. And I think the idea of like having to constantly meet like this nebulous expectation of like both an audience, a booker, but also like the social media of it all. I don't know. That's kind of exhausting.
It is the social media. It is like going back onto Drag Race has like switched my brain a little bit because I did it to like achieve this thing that I knew I could do.
Yeah.
And then did it and was met with like the most racism that I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I just sort of went, oh, well, I did that thing now. So a lot of the time that I'm doing drag, it's almost like it's a necessity for work and income.
Sure.
And like, I don't know that I need to be in drag to do the things that I'm doing at the moment. I get it for like performance and stuff. Like, absolutely. I would love to be in drag for a Pride event. It's fun. It's relevant to the community. But I don't know that we need to be in drag to be having this conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, I've started doing a podcast and I love doing it. I don't have to be in drag to do it. Yeah, exactly. Like, but there was a point when I first got off Drag Race and like even maybe during filming where I was like, how do I talk to the world out of drag? Because it had always been this like separate character and it was like, there was an affect to me when I was in drag. And something about doing Drag Race helped me figure out how to like blend the two. Where I was like, oh, I can take up space out of drag. Because you have to like figure out how to do it like in the mirror, getting ready and stuff. You're like, I'm not ready to be having fun conversations. Or you have to like talk seriously when you're in drag, which is something I'd never done before either. Because I was like always trying to like, have a hard, kind of cool, sexy exterior. So then podcast, it's like, why can't we take up space just out of drag?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I get it. It's fun to look at. And like, if you're going to go on TV, sure, do drag. But something like this, I think it's okay.
A lovely chat. Yeah. Without being in drag. You're so right about the Drag Race thing. Because I think I learned that these two identities were far closer connected than I thought.
Yeah.
Especially like on season 2, I had this weird thing of having... My name out of drag is Lawrence. And Lawrence Chaney was there being very successful.
Yeah.
And Tia Kofi was there being very unsuccessful. So like, I had to like almost like understand that my name wasn't my name. Like when I hear Lawrence, it means that person's doing well. And when I hear Tia, it probably means I'm in the bottom again and going to have to lip sync for my life. And that was like really difficult. So it actually took like a little bit of work to like reconnect those identities.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah. It is just so strange. Like you could probably write a fucking thesis about it.
I'm sure people have.
Constructed identity. It's kind of like multiple personality disorder in this weird way when you first start doing it. And I think the job is to figure out how to be able to do both. Unless you're going to be someone who is like a real character artist who's like no, my drag character is completely different, like a Christine, or even like my friend Baby Lame. It's like, no, that person, like, that is a stage persona, and it's completely different to like. But like Baby, for example, can't do a conversation like this in drag because drag is a character.
Yeah,
and I think something about Drag Race makes you break the walls between those two things, which is kind of interesting. And
I think it's quite helpful because I always, you know, that sort of trope where you get asked, like, what is drag for you? And you're meant to say, like, drag is my superpower. It's like my armor against the world. The standard line. And I kind of don't feel like that anymore.
Yeah, no, totally. But I did.
Yeah, at one point.
Yeah.
But now it's like these two people they've like supported each other and they've become one.
Yeah, if anything, now drag is kind of like an impediment. And now I'm in a lot of discomfort. And actually, it's making it kind of hard for me to be like a nice person to you right now because I'm in so much physical pain.
Yeah, but you do drag. I wear like a loose floaty dress so that I don't have to corset.
You do drag. I'm not hearing it.
I do comfy, cozy drag.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd wear this in drag. Just throw on some makeup and a wig and call it a day. No corset. We are coming to the end.
Oh, wow.
But before we do, Miss Olivia has come up with a game for us that is, of course, themed around you. Over to former professional ballerina, Olivia. She actually was a professional ballerina.
Olivia, you are full of surprises.
Tia tells everyone. Everyone knows. Everyone that comes on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, anyone at home listening who needs a professional ballet dancer for...
I thought I was a podcast fan, but maybe this always gets edited out.
Probably. Thank you, Richard.
No, Richard, keep it in. Live, laugh, love. What are we doing today?
So we're going to do snog or avoid politician edition.
Oh, okay. Because you're the politics diva.
Okay,
the
great.
dancing diva of politics.
This is where I'm like, who's that?
Yeah, me. Literally.
So each round, I'm going to say 2 names. And you have to snog one, which means they stay for the next round, or avoid the other one, and there you go.
Are we choosing together?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Choose together.
Cute.
Teams.
So you can keep track. Yeah.
So I can keep track.
Yeah.
Okay. We start with Rishi Sunak and Joe Biden.
Oh, God.
They're dishy Rishi.
Yeah.
But also a bad person, you know?
They're both bad people.
Yeah.
But one's worse.
Well, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
now
it's hard to say.
Now that Epstein files are happening, I'm like, which American's eating a baby? Like, we don't even know.
I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'd say I would rather be naked with Rishi Sunak.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're keeping dishy Rishi.
Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer?
This game is harder than you think.
Why are you putting me in this position?
Keir looks a bit like a Wallace and Gromit character, not a compliment, but I don't know. I kind of want to hold him because I think he's having a difficult time.
Oh, like you could rock him to sleep.
Yeah, like maybe we shouldn't bring like parental energy into the bedroom, but kinda.
Yeah. Oh God, it's really a who's who of who do I not want to sleep with. But...
No, I've got a horrible vision in my head of Keir Starmer now calling one or both of us daddy, which I don't. Can we? I don't want it. I don't want it. But you can see it, right?
I can.
Yeah, it's.
I think he would say. Yeah, I think Keir Starmer's the kind of man who apologizes when he comes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, too soon.
Let's stick with Rishi just for like nostalgia factor. He doesn't feel like a current present threat to my life.
Yeah.
And therefore I'm like more willing to like go there.
Yeah, Keir is a near and present danger.
Yeah.
So dishy Rishi.
Rishi Sunak.
We're really thinking about this.
Or
I love
Kamala Harris.
Oh.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I was I paused, but
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I feel like she'd be a good time.
Yeah, it's a fun lady.
War criminal, but
who isn't?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi?
Oh. Could you do like a fun mommy complex with Nancy Pelosi?
You could. I think she'd be a good time gal. I am conscious that she is an older woman.
Yeah.
So I think we would have to be
gentle.
Yeah.
Respectful.
Respectful of her bones.
I'm sticking with Kamala.
Really? Okay. Yeah, we can go with that.
Is that okay?
I was going to switch it up.
You were?
Let's stick with Miss Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
The threesome no one asked
Yeah.
for. No one wants to see.
This is a wild game.
Wild. Kamala Harris or Carl Cashman?
Lib Dem councillor Carl Cashman.
Yes. We know the man.
Yeah. Photo on screen, I hope.
Yeah.
Shirtless photo on screen. Great councillor.
I have no idea what that man's politics are, and I'd frankly prefer to stay in the dark about all of that.
You'll be pleased to know he is firmly an ally to our community.
I assumed he was gay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Gay friends, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think we're going with LGBTQ plus ally Carl Cashman.
Carl Cashman or Zach Polanski?
Oh, Zaddy. My loyalty.
Zaddy Zach. I just think it would be do a disservice to my support of the Greens if I mixed, politics and pleasure. So I just want to keep Zach, separate to all of that. And not shit where I eat, So let's just stick with Carl. That's my justification.
I think my reasoning is Zach's partner is so lovely that I don't want to cause that. Although I'm intrigued about Zach's time working at Heaven, and I feel like Zaddy could have a little
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
I hate that I'm saying this because I have so much respect for Zach Polanski. Can we stick with Carl Cashman so we don't have to sexualize?
Yeah, I think that's wise.
Zach. We love the Green Party, and for that reason...
It's for that reason.
Yeah, for that reason we will be rimming a Lib Dem councillor instead.
Last one. Carl Cashman or Bernie Sanders?
Oh.
Olivia, the last one's meant to be difficult. Carl Cashman, surely.
I think so.
That's not to be...
do you want me to do one more?
Aesthetic.
But I think what we've revealed is that we're having sex with people based purely on aesthetics and nothing to do with their politics. Which I think I'm okay with.
Well, we know Carl's an ally and also a gym bunny.
I think anyone looking at those two side by side, it is a tough choice.
Yeah, it is difficult. Carl Cashman.
Yeah.
I think
Bernie.
Carl Cashman wins.
Great. Well done, Carl.
Universal healthcare for all, though.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a lovely time.
So nice. I feel like it turned into a bit of a therapy session, but, that's all right.
A necessary one, though. And at least we put it into the universe as well, that if Carl Cashman ever wants to experiment, you are available.
Yes. Yeah. Until the ballot box crumbles around us. I don't know.
It worked.
Okay.
It did work. I liked it. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for having me.